Hello, my name is Hannah. Welcome to another video on my channel. Today we're talking about postpartum weight loss. My baby, my toddler, is 15 months old, so I guess it's fair to say I waited quite a bit of time to talk about this issue, mostly just because I got really busy and it's hard for me to find childcare so that I can get a little work done here and there. Yeah, my life is very full. If you're wondering where I am and you missed it, go watch the video where Eric and I sold our house and we are now living with my parents again while we are searching for another home. Long story, I'll update you more later. Right now, I really want to dig into this topic because I think it's really interesting, and I think there's so much to say. And first of all, I do want to say that if this topic of weight loss, especially postpartum weight loss, is triggering for you, just turn off the video. You do not have to watch a video about weight loss. I don't want anyone who has a complex about losing weight, getting triggered by anything I say. So just turn it off, move on, and go enjoy yourself and enjoy your life. The reason I want to unpack this topic a little bit is because I was so interested in my own experience with postpartum weight loss. It's really common to see a huge change in your body after you give birth and then never get back or bounce back to what you were before. And this is what I want to talk about. So while I definitely did gain weight during pregnancy, I don't know how much I gained. I think I may have weighed myself once during pregnancy. I don't remember what it was. Even pre-pregnancy, I wasn't really into weighing myself, not because the number on a scale would affect me or, do something emotionally to me, more just because I'm so uninterested in a number. Like, whatever I weigh just doesn't matter to me. Like, it matters more how I feel in my body, even how my clothes fit, and just recognizing my overall health. Of course, I want to maintain an ideal body weight for my figure, and it feels good to be at my ideal weight, but I am not obsessed with being skinny. That definitely was me, in the past. I just thought skinny equals better, but now I just like to feel good in my body. I like to feel strong. I like to feel energized, and I think we are at a point now in our culture where we can understand weight loss a little bit better in that it's sort of like a complex issue and that everyone's going to be at a different weight. It's not about being at this particular number. So I just say that because I don't have numbers to report or anything, or even before and after sort of photos, not really. Just because, to be honest, while I wanted to get back to feeling really good in my body, back into fitting into the clothes I was used to, it was the last concern of mine for a really long time. I told myself that it just did not matter how long it took me to get back to my ideal weight pre-baby. If it took a year, fine. And I had no expectations because I had a baby. I really feel wow, that is the most important thing, is taking care of my child. Who cares what I look like? And I want to tell every mom out there, what you're doing for your baby is number one. Your baby does not care what you look like in a swimsuit. All your baby sees when he or she sees you is this love emanating from you, and that's my mom. And there is just no pressure, and that's what I really want to unpack today. So in general, the postpartum weight loss experience was not a grueling one for me. It was not difficult. I had no pressure that I put on myself. However, I will say I found that a lot of people I barely knew or didn't know at all, were a lot more invested in my bouncing back. And I found it I was just sort of observing it that's interesting. I was not offended or hurt by it. I just found it interesting that so many people, I'd have my baby with me, 2 months, and they'd be like, wow, you look great. And I'm like, thanks. I just don't, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this or had that experience where I'm like, why are you commenting on my body? Again, not offended, not particularly wrapped up in that response to me. I just found it weird. Why does it matter to you that I look great, or that, wow, you bounced right back? Maybe because, and oddly enough, it was a lot of men who said this, and not in a creepy way. I think maybe they're just sort of whoa, isn't it cool? Women's bodies, they grow this baby, they have this big belly, and then it just sort of shrinks right back. I think it was an innocent way, whoa, isn't that interesting? Isn't that cool? You look amazing, you just bounce right back. But at the same time, I do think others, when women made comments, often it was wow, you're doing it all. You guys, when you have a baby, it is all consuming. I feel like there's this obsession with attaining this goal of being beautiful while being a mother. And I think being a mother is beautiful. So whether you're wearing exercise clothes all day and your hair is in a bun and you're not wearing makeup and you're not shaving your armpits and you could barely take care of yourself, like, it's amazing. It's beautiful what we're doing. And I don't know if this is rare or if others can relate. Leave a comment below. I actually feel more confident in my body post-baby than I ever did pre-baby. And I think it's because I had a baby. Like, this baby grew inside of me, still shocks me, and came out of my vagina hole, and it's incredible. Like, I don't know, and now I'm feeding him with my boobies. Like, I just think it's the most incredible, amazing thing. I feel so empowered and I feel like super woman. It's amazing. And I just feel so confident in my body, like in a swimsuit, whatever. Like, I don't know. That's my own experience. And I know some women definitely struggle with this. So everyone's experience is totally different. I will say though that though I was detached from the timeline of, getting back into my regular clothes, because again, it wasn't about a number for me. I just really like clothes and I like high-waisted jeans and I have a curated denim collection and I couldn't wear them for a really long time because I didn't fit into them. And I wanted to fit into those, not because I wanted my body to look a certain way, but because I like my clothes and I spent a lot of money on these like cute jeans. For 6 months or something, I had to buy like new clothes that were stretchy and just like a little bit more comfortable. That I didn't spend a lot of money on them, but I needed new clothes because I didn't fit into them for about 6 months. It wasn't until I was 6 months postpartum that I started to see the weight melt off, and it just melted off like within weeks as soon as something switched. And this is what the first thing was. I have shared before that we had some breastfeeding issues in the beginning and they lasted for about 4 months, but even like 2 months after that, I was still sort of holding on to them emotionally because it was pretty traumatic for me. I don't know if y'all are familiar, where did that come from? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the mind-body connection, but I'm very passionate about it. And it just makes so much sense to me that I was holding on to wait for a little bit longer than maybe I would have if I hadn't had this stressful experience. I just had this like low-grade panic all the time with my baby's safety, my baby's well-being. Woo, here it comes. And I think this is really common for a lot of first-time moms where you're just sort of like, oh my God, it's such a huge responsibility to take care of a baby. And so I went to Maui with my husband and my baby when he was 6 months old, and we're visiting family out there. And that trip was really healing for me. It was like this big journey, to travel across the Pacific with the baby and live life for a few weeks in the tropics. And it was really good to be with my sister, and we had some good talks about my breastfeeding experience. And anyway, it was just a very healing experience. And I started to shed, literally and figuratively, the weight of going through that trauma. And it was really fascinating to me to watch, like, whoa, all of a sudden I'm fitting into this pair of jeans. Now this pair of jeans fit. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm old Hannah again. Like, it just felt like I was back to a little bit more of me, because I think when you first have a baby, especially your first time, your identity just gets completely switched around. And if you don't look like yourself, you're not used to looking this way, or just having a few extra pounds, it can add even more to that sort of confusion of who am I? And so it did feel really good to start seeing the weight come off. I don't know, and again, I don't have an exact like number or date because that was so unimportant to me. I just wanted to feel like Hannah again. And it happened around 6 months, just within a few weeks, I feel like I was back to Hannah, which was really cool. I do think, now this is thing number 2 that was instrumental in helping me maintain, a healthy body weight, whether that was a few extra pounds for those 6 months. to back to sort of like regular pre-baby Hannah. Both, I think, were fine body weights for me at the time. I think that women especially, and men, we fluctuate in body weight sometimes, and it's okay. We fluctuate throughout the month, throughout the year, throughout seasons, throughout stressful times, or whatever it is. I don't know, I just feel like sometimes we get in our heads and freak out like, oh my gosh, I feel so bloated, and then this doesn't fit. Well, just relax, you know, relax. Life is about so many more important things than what you look like in a swimsuit. But thing number 2 that was instrumental is that I have a really consistent way of eating that makes me thrive. I eat whole foods, plant-based. I keep processed foods to a very, very minimum on occasions like fun times. I'm not crazy strict about it. I don't count calories. I eat in abundance. I eat fruits and vegetables and grains and beans and mushrooms and nuts and seeds, and I avoid refined foods like sugar, oils, and protein powders. I have been eating this way for years and I am thriving, and it is so easy to eat this way. It's not restrictive. It does not require discipline, which is something I'm very passionate about. There's nothing wrong with discipline, but when it comes to food, discipline can really disrupt how we feel about ourselves and our self-worth. Generally, people who eat whole foods plant-based generally tend to have an easier time staying at their ideal weight. And the reason for this is plant foods are very low in calorie compared to animal foods and compared to processed foods. So if you're eating whole foods plant-based, meaning very few processed foods, the calories are very low, so you can actually eat in abundance, not worry about calories, not worry about, you know, oh, this plate has this many calories, but this plate has this. Just throw that all out the window and just eat in abundance with having a basic understanding of macros, a basic understanding of nutrition, and don't be so stressed about this, that, or the other. This is something I talk a lot about in my course, Vegan for Good, about making your vegan lifestyle a sustainable and enjoyable one, one that makes you feel really satisfied, and one that keeps you vegan for life. I work with registered dietitians James and Dahlia Marin, who are amazing. They have a practice called Married to Health. Sorry, I don't know what that sound is, but we're just gonna power through. I have a whole module dedicated to food freedom that I worked on with Tara Kemp, who is an expert on this matter. So let's talk about mindset for a second, because this is so critical when it comes to losing weight, especially and even when you're losing weight postpartum. The truth is, we do have a lot working against us, you know, if you want to look at it that way. Well, first of all, many of us don't have a lot of time to exercise. We don't have a lot of time to make healthy meals. We have a bit more stress, especially if it's your first baby and you're learning how to take care of a baby for the first time. We're sleeping a lot less, and sleep is really important for wellness. Not to mention, moms feel a lot of pressure to bounce back, and the pressure just makes everything worse. But I do think we can shift our mindset to have more of a gratitude perspective, and if you are so tired of hearing me talk about mindset, I'm not sorry. Listen, if we only focus on what's hard, it's going to be harder. And you focus on what isn't working for you or what's working against you, all you're gonna find is that your brain will be trained to find lack of opportunity, lack of possibility. But what if you trained your brain to find all the ways that the world is supporting you in getting back to wellness, getting back to your ideal weight that feels good in your body? Just start by feeling grateful. For example, be grateful for the amount of support you do have with your partner or your family. Be grateful for the time you do make for making healthy food, or that once a week where you get on your yoga mat. Just be grateful for, sorry, I just spit on you. Be grateful for all the little things that you can find, and all of a sudden it's gonna start adding up. So I just want to reiterate here that there is no rush, there is no race to lose weight after you give birth. And I want you to know there is no pressure from me on you to lose weight at all. And if you are experiencing some stress or trauma-related emotions from maybe a difficult birth, a difficult pregnancy, some sort of emergency postpartum, or anything like that, even mastitis can be traumatic. Like, there's so many things that are just really difficult about becoming a mom. And I think it's important, if you're looking at your wellness journey, like being aware of, oh, that's right. 2 months ago, I had this really difficult thing I was going through. Maybe I'm still holding on to that, and realizing, is there someone you need to forgive? Is there something you need to let go of? Is there healing that needs to happen. And maybe you're hearing this for the first time ever, that, you know, weight loss is connected to our emotional life and our stress levels and everything. And I hope this can be the beginning of an exciting journey to see how your mind and body are connected. And then I want to reiterate again the importance of nutrition. Yes, like mindset is so important, and so is nutrition. And I eat in a way that doesn't require me to vigorously exercise 7 days a week. My exercise most of the time just looks like going on walks in the afternoon with my son in the stroller for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And I do want to get back into a regular yoga practice, and more each week I'm getting into more regularity. It just depends on how much sleep I get the night before. But again, you know, I exercise because I love my body, not because I hate my body. I eat well to nourish myself, not to discipline myself. There's such a huge difference in intention and motivation when it comes to exercise and nutrition that I have grown, you know, a lot in over the years. And I just want to end with this. When it comes to mindset, and it comes to weight loss, and it comes to body image and how we view ourselves, listen, you are valuable just as you are. There is nothing you can do to make yourself more loved or less loved than you are now. Nothing. And if you lost all the weight today, nothing will change in how valuable you are. If you never lost all the weight and you were just like a slob the rest of your life and just like ate a bunch of pizza all day, nothing would change about how loved you are. And if you act out of worthiness, everything will change. I think most people struggle with self-worth issues, even if they don't think they do. I think that a lot of problems stem from self-worth issues, and I'm not talking about self-care, take a bubble bath, get your me time. I'm not into that culture, actually. I'm into recognizing how loved we are and then acting out of that. Worthiness and being loved has nothing to do with what we do. It's who we are. It's just who we already are. There's nothing we can do to change that. And that is a revolutionary concept for me. About 3 or 4 years ago, it finally clicked for me and everything sort of changed. And I think that's a big missing piece when it comes to the weight loss conversation. So anyway, peace and love. I never say that, but I hope you have a great day, and I hope you eat some plants and love yourself. Goodbye.